Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, light warriors, old souls, and evolving beings. I've just finished up a bunch of readings, a bunch of healings. I'm so honored to be able to be here to help in this way. And of course, I'm always asked how I'm able to do what I've been able to do. And a lot of it is pulling up training from past lives, where I've been, and then literally just taking the bull by the horns and running with it, trusting it. And you have to trust yourself. There is no one else. So while we do readings for you and healings for you, remember they are very much driven by how much you are going to move forward with it and how much you are going to start to implement the changes. I want to remind all of you that illnesses come up in our lives to teach us something, but they are not permanent. They do not need to be permanent, especially not in this type of energy. Our light bodies are evolving and moving and growing. And yes, we've come here to ascend in physical. But with all this light energy and everything that's coming in, you must be willing to let go. Letting go of any ideation that you've had or held about old trauma, victim, old illnesses. Let them go. They no longer serve you. Acknowledge them. Let them know. Thank them. Let that, acknowledge why they came, what they taught you, and know that you are healed. You are cleared. This is one of the biggest things. It's amazing because I can do a healing. I can zip in. People can feel my energy. They automatically feel the tingling. They immediately clear. And I'm talking immediately. But then what happens as time goes on, they override it to a certain degree because their mind goes, uh-oh, I felt this little tinge. Uh-oh, I saw this little sign. Uh-oh. And then, of course, false evidence appearing real, fear seeps in, and you go back to all your old patterns. Well, it's not the time to be in those patterns any longer. You're in all new patterns with new biogeometric sacred geometry coming around you on all levels. You do not consent to illness anymore. All right? It is the past. It is done. Your life is now one to be lived in fun, in good energy, in healing, in pristine health, all of those things. So, I want to give a little advice on how to lock in your healing. And I'm going to use myself as an example because it's easier that way. And I do apologize ahead of time because this is going to be just a tad graphic, but it's the easiest way for me to explain it. As you know, I had Crohn's disease. I healed myself of Crohn's disease, but I did have it for 18 years. So there were spiritual lessons in it. And as I was finishing it, one of the things that would happen was I would clear it, it would be gone, and then bleeding from my bowels, that is, specifically, as well as cramping and all that other stuff. I was able to get through all the cramping and all the really heavy physical pain, but then was still bleeding. And then I could clear it up for a period of time, and then it would pop back in. And then I started to realize there was a huge spiritual component to it, which was the fact that when people attacked me, I didn't say anything back or do anything. I integrated it, I thought. I was loving and kind. I knew why they were responding the way that they did because I saw in love where they were stuck and what was going on. And then I just held on to it. Well, thus bleeding from one's bowels. And then when I cleared it for long periods of time, when people would attack me spiritually because they couldn't get to me, they couldn't make me budge to their way in the physical world, and their egos demanded that I lived on their terms or I was not to be around. So they were able to pull in high spiritual powers. I don't care, call it demonic, call it whatever you want to call it. And those would attack me. When those attacks came, it would take me 5 seconds to see the bleeding. And I would immediately turn around and say, I do not consent. I understand this is spiritual. Thank you, body, for showing me. You've showed me exactly what needs to be repaired. I would do an energetic clearing and healing, and then I would let it go, and it would disappear until I no longer ever needed that experience in my life. Okay? All of you have this power, way more than the long, struggling ways I went about it. This can happen in split seconds now. Do not accept that anything is permanent in your physical body, or you're doing yourself a great disservice. Contracts are being written. We are all being healed. We can move forward. And if I'm harping, I apologize. I am so passionate about your pristine health that I'm going to keep talking until I know you get it. So please accept in yourself the ability to heal. Call on your star families. There are ships everywhere. There is never a lack of love. There's never a lack of healing. There is no lack in your world any longer. You are abundant. You are healed. You are pristine. And work with your body. If you have been immobile for 50 years, you start teeny. You start with breaths. You start with stretching your pinky. I've said this months and months ago, I was sharing with you. You start by doing a little stretching, little by little, and you just work through it, okay? Because we need our physical bodies. We are evolving in our physical bodies. I started talking about this to all of you in January, but of course, I've been sharing this since the early 2000s. So please, now is the time. Lock in your healing. And also, the other important piece is set clear intentions on your new paths. Make the time to do it. I understand we are busy. I understand that we are bombarded with information. I assure you, I am pushed all of the time in many different ways, and I spend so much of my time in the ethers. So, pulling down to give this information is a dynamic of its own. But I want you to start in your mind to think that you're in a whole new place, right? And now, instead of the stepping stones that you follow across the water, let's say, to get to the other side, they're already laid down, right? So you've been taught that, well, you step to the left, then you step to the right, you step to the left, step over this stone, and you follow those stones. No longer. I want you to think that your path, every little second, every little now moment is cleared, okay? It's all new energy. It is all free crystalline beingness pulling in our energetic bodies, our ascended masters, our angels, every little star system that we have traveled through. Don't get caught up in the details specifically as to who you are or where you were. Yes, research it, learn as much as you can, get to know yourself as well as you can. But that should not stop you. You now are going to, in clear intention, pure, unconditional love, instead of just walking on the stone that's set before you, you are now, with your intention, like I said earlier in this week, you are planning what that stone is going to look like, how it's going to feel, where you're going to go, all those things you haven't done, how you are in pristine health, how all your clairs have come to you, how your telekinesis is there, how you are an ascended master, and what would it look like to step on that stone? Then you're going to integrate it. I'm healed. My healing is locked in. And then you're going to manifest and think and create and put attention to the next step in front of you. You're going to adjust to that. You're going to feel the energies. And my, oh my, the energies have been coming in. And that little step is going to be formed, right? Now, you're not going to just step off with everybody else. Yes, numerous people are going off in all different directions, doing all different things. That doesn't matter. What is it that you want to do? What is your highest and best? You need to set those intentions. You can't just let time disappear, let opportunities disappear, let guilt come in, let hurt come in. All of these things must be let go of. Now, I have hedged from going into the deep trauma wounds, and there are some psychological tips that I have. Part of the reason, like I said, has been that I haven't wanted to set anything in people's minds because I want them to be clear to walk in their intentions, to walk in each piece, to walk in the now moment. And I am working on those things. I've also been, of course, on the road and then caught up on the readings and the healings and all of that. But the most important thing you can do is realize that you are now a new being in so many ways. Every step that you're about, every stone you're about to step on, every place you're about to go has to be in the highest intention for your highest and best, pulling in the most energies you can that make you the incredible, rounded, phenomenal being that you came here to be as you move through this ascension process. And this claiming all of these pristine health, all of your clairs, all of your, telekinesis, all of your skills that you have mastered from the various star systems that you've gone to, whether it's quantum healing or hypnosis or sacred geometry, any of those things, they're all coming back to you so that you can be the teacher you came here to be. You can show others what it's like to be a master and walk in pure love and pure light. And you all can do this. So, just because I had done all the readings and so many things come up that are similar, I wanted to share this with you. Lock in your healing, set clear intentions as to your next step. You are loved beyond measure. Your guides are there for you all of the time. As I ask, are you calling on them? Love you. If you like this message, don't forget to like, subscribe, all those things I always forget to say. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Love you.